raining very, very, very hard. I spilled. Yum. Oh, I got a second one. I told her an obscene amount of crackers, please, and thank you. She delivered. I need to go get paper towel. Candace Owens.
And what I said was, we are going to announce a date soon. We actually hadn't agreed on it at the time I read this. And what I said was, we are going to announce a date soon. We actually hadn't agreed on it at the time I read the statement. We're going to announce a date where we're going to respond to this. And once we announce it, Candace is free to attend in person. That is what we announced. And so once we agreed on a time, I announced what the time was going to be. Candace, for her part, had said, you name the time, you name the place. That is what we did. As for why it was put out at that time, I would just say I don't think she had any difficulty in finding out what our scheduled time was. It seems everyone found it out quite quickly. And lastly, on the point of why it's in person, I think it's pretty intuitive that given what is being said, the way this has worked is that it's critical to be in person if you want to be authentic and to be detailed. And that is what we think is a fair request to make if she's going to participate. But regardless, it is going to go forward because we have agreed that some response needs to be made. And so that's going to happen when we announced it on December 15th.
Yeah, and we actually got to hit it.
I'm one person,
Gina,
but
yeah, Gina, I'm sorry, we got to hit a radio break here. We can keep going in the break if you want for if you have a follow up. We'll be right back. We're gonna take a break from radio. We'll be right back.
So I love situational irony like that, where he is actually live streaming with Andrew Colvett. It's like, it's not authentic unless it's a person is in person, and Andrew Colvett's literally not in person as he's answering this question. So I guess the show is not authentic or something. I also love Blake because he's trying so hard not to be condescending in that bit. It doesn't come naturally to him. He's extremely condescending. His obvious, how do I say this? We're shocked that you guys believe Candace. We're just very shocked, you dummies. And his excuse is that the reason he did this in the middle of the night on X is that it's to be expected, as if that's some sort of normal etiquette. Once you extend an offer, not only do you extend an offer, you say that it's a sincere offer. He used the word sincere. And when she is trying to get around to, hey, like, why does this need to be in person? Just to be clear, Blake is saying the answer to that is, quote unquote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Let me just run that sentence again because I consider myself to be pretty intuitive. I am intuiting right now that is absolute bullcrap. He says, quote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Yeah, they think you're stupid. They just think you're absolutely an idiot. And he says that that's fair. What are you talking about? My most contentious and my most viral debates have never been in person. Everyone assumes that when you extend an invite, that you're going to do whatever you can to make it happen, whether it's friendly, whether it's not friendly. When you come out and you say that you are live streaming, the assumption is that you are live streaming because you want the internet to be able to attend.
You
right?
sneaky
That's the whole
Peterson.
purpose and function of live streaming an event, is that it invites everybody to be able to attend. So when you extend an invitation of live streaming and you don't explicitly say it must be in person, why would I assume that you're going to rescind the offer if I say that I can appear via live stream? Okay. They never said that when they made the offer and they were pretending that they were being sincere. They never made in person a point of their demands.
So good.
They never also said that I had to respond within 24 hours. That's a hostage situation. Okay. There's no way that I could have accommodated all that. In a million years, 24 hours to respond. How about, let me see if I can make that work. Even if I could have made it work, which I couldn't have, because my husband instantly said, no, you cannot do this Monday. And he runs the household, and he has an important thing going on that day, which involves people that are coming in from overseas. But even if I could have made that work, I would not have within 24 hours have confirmed to them if they had even sent me an email. Because I have kids, I would have had organized things, and it would have just taken longer than 24 hours, and they knew that. What Blake did say verbatim on that day is, quote, here is what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix. So we're assuming they're live streaming from Phoenix, where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and the accusations.
To be fair, Candace, honestly, when I read that, I knew they were going to tell you that you had to go there because that's what Ben Shapiro did to her when she left.
Everything carefully and thoroughly.
There was some other thing that happened.
Candace is available.
They had to be there, and if they weren't physically there,
her participation in that live stream at our studio in Phoenix. Not a demand to be there in person. Live streams happening at your studio. And you said that this was a sincere request, then you went about it in the opposite manner, which is why it makes it really interesting that he says in the beginning that that was done at the request, at the direction, and with the approval of Erica. And that's interesting for a lot of reasons. I think a lot of us have been wondering, like, did she take on this role and she's actually executing? Or are we still going through a transition phase? Is she still learning the part? How involved is she on a day-to-day basis? Because some of these actions seem like fumbles, like absolute fumbles. And you're wondering, is Andrew Colvat running things? Is Tyler Boyer running things? Is this coming from Erica Kirk? Because I'm having trouble, I guess, comprehending why she would green a light.
Stop trying to get
something that the internet has now read as incredibly insincere. Of course it's insincere. You market yourself as somebody that is passionate about family, and we can't even get 24 hours to see if we can make things work and exchange things. Like, that doesn't feel honest. That didn't come across as honest. And you're telling us, or we're assuming from that statement, that she approved the statement that went out referring to people as Antifa members, like making us akin to a basket of deplorables because we don't accept the Fed slop. Like, that got her approval to go out. Like, this was read by Erica. That doesn't feel good, And the reality is if you deeply care about the legacy of Turning Point USA, as you all claim that you do, like you claim that you're really just in this, Blake Neff and Andrew Colvat, because we were his best friends and we love him, then how can you treat people who are genuinely people just like Gina, donors to Turning Point USA, people who got behind Turning Point USA, people who have photos of them going to Turning Point USA events, who probably have tickets to go to AmFest? How can you treat people with such contempt? How could you think they're dumb enough to believe that that was a sincere offer, that that's how it's supposed to work, that that's ever in the history ever of people setting up debates, that's ever been how it's worked? That someone just arbitrarily picks a time and a place, and you admit you had no time and you did not have a date picked. So there's no reason you couldn't come to me and say, here's 2 dates that could work, and allowed me to do that. And by the way, I would still like for you guys to do that, okay? And one more thing that I want to put out there, because your 24-hour demand is ridiculous, it's silly. Okay, let's strip it. Let's not pretend that there's some buzzard that got hit. We can still make this work, and I would like to make this work, and I would especially like to make this work if you are saying or implying that Erica Kirk is going to be there. Because the reality is that would be a game changer. I think that's a game changer. I think it would be very powerful to have her there to represent the viewpoints in a way that they're maybe not being shared by Blake Neff, who is incredibly unlikable and speaks down to people. And I don't know why he does that. It's not coming across clearly from your spokesperson, Andrew Colvat, who seems to be on the road and isn't course correcting in the attitudes that are coming out, or at least telling people not to be like late night tweeting like Tyler Boyer. And yeah, it would be great if you are saying that on the 15th, Erica Kirk, as you are insinuating that she's going to be there, right? She's directing this thing. Are you implying here that she's going to actually be in the chair and she's willing to allow me to bring things and to go over timelines and stuff? Like, can you make that offer through the proper channels? Can you actually say that, since you now have more details about how it's going to work, and reopen that offer again? There is no way in hell that George can make the 15th work. I just said it. No, he shut it down immediately, and for a very valid reason. And it is not my inclination to go to Phoenix without having my team with me. And my husband is very much a part of my team. But I will say that I will raise it further with the Supreme Court of George Farber. If you are insinuating, and actually if you can confirm that you are saying that you will allow me, as you said further in this, to bring whatever it is, because it would be more authentic if it was face to face. If you're saying that I don't have to deal with you and this is actually going to be very open and I can ask every question under the sun, I might beg. So I would love to hear from Turning Point USA, and stop pretending 24 hours was some like demand that had to be met, because that's ridiculous. So ball very much back into your court. And like I said, I want to make this happen. I still think you guys can open it up for a live stream. Like you're doing that right now. That seems ridiculous as well. Let's make this work for the people. Anyways, you guys, diving back into our investigation. Okay, got something very interesting for you. Now, it is actually common sense that has been guiding this investigation the entire time, despite the federal insistence that we pretend we don't have any. And I think there's a compelling element that we should follow here. If we believe and know and have the intuition that this is a deep state assassination, I do. Okay, and we know that our deep state, the CIA, is involved in color revolutions all around the world. We should think about how they organize the revolutions, right? What does it actually entail? How does our military accomplish that? Through what means, okay? And I think it's obvious that they accomplish that through organized chaos. The chaos, as chaotic as the event may seem, has to actually be organized if this is military. It means that as a state, we fund and then we coordinate protests, and coordinating is the operative word. It has to look organic to the untrained eye. You have to actually make sure that people will believe when they read the New York Times, when they read AP News or Reuters, that all of this just happened. That, like back in 2014, the Ukrainians were authentically and truly just done with their president, Yanukovych. And when John McCain went over there and led the protesters in the streets, he was really representing the voice of the people. It was not another United States military color revolution. By the way, if you have not seen that, this is what we do all around the world, you should just, I'm just going to play a little bit of this. John McCain addressing protesters in Ukraine before we overthrew their president. Take a listen.
Привіт, Ukraine! People of Ukraine, this is your moment.
Народи український, це ваш момент.
This is about you, no one else.
Це про вас.
This is about the future you want for your country. This is about the future you deserve.
Це про ваше майбутнє, про майбутнє вашої країни. Це про майбутнє, на яке ви заслуговуєте.
A future in Europe.
Майбутнє Європи.
A future of peace. Good relations with all of your neighbors.
майбутнє всіх ваших сусідів.
All right, that's enough. I don't know why we're like this. I really don't know why we're like this. Anyways, I believe in my heart and in my rational mind as well that Charlie Kirk's assassination was about as organic as John McCain, may he rest in peace, leading the people of Ukraine. And we got our color revolution, and we've been doing corrupt stuff in that region since. Now, I began scanning the people of the crowd obsessively. Obviously, you should see the folders on my desktop. And I'm referring, of course, now to a UVU on September 10th. And there was something that I kept noticing. A weird amount of young men were alone at this event, and they were wearing maroon shirts. In fact, so many of these young men that I was coming across were wearing maroon that at first I legitimately assumed that it had to have been one of the UVU colors. I asked this question so innocently. I was like, to someone at UVU, I was like, oh, are your school colors maroon? And he comes back and he said, no, they're green and white. So my gut told me, okay, that's interesting, because maroon is not exactly a highly ranked color for men, okay? And it can't be that all of these men that are wearing maroon also happen to have attended this event alone. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go back to some of these people. This is by no means everyone. I'm just showing you a few times here. Here we go. We have this young man. This is after the shot. He's wearing maroon. Show you another person here sitting there under the tree after the shot, and he's wearing maroon. Show you another person here. We're going to come back to this person who is wearing maroon because his dad is going to say something publicly. 3 people, 1 shot, all of them alone, wearing maroon. We're going to come back to the guy at the top there who has the hat, the darker hat on, who is wearing maroon. Just like these strapping young men all wearing maroon. We've got this guy in the bush wearing maroon. I could go on and on. This person of how many people wearing maroon. I even have a video of someone holding a maroon shirt. Okay, so I mentioned that quite casually. And that thing happened where there was an overreaction for no reason online. So I knew that I was on the right track and I should probably keep going. And I said something, I think it was on X, or maybe it was on the show. And then we received hundreds of emails from people past and presently in the military around the world. And they said, yes, Candace, that is military. I am just going to quote a few emails here. One person wrote, quote, airborne forces wear maroon, not just in the UK, the USA, and France, as well as in dozens of other militaries. Another person said, quote, I instantly recall that when police are in undercover units, the FBI, etc., and they are not in their uniforms, they often have a color of the day or a unit color. It's a signal to anyone else around that you are with that mission or unit, end quote. Another person wrote, quote, my husband was and led part of the QRF, Quick Reaction Force team, when they were deployed in Iraq. We are retired now. The maroon color in the military means the color is famously associated with military forces, such as the Maroon Beret of airborne troops around the world. And another person explained to me that especially in coordinated violent scenes, making sure that people are in certain colors or in something that is identifiable is important, so that military men can observe who to protect or who they're looking for, right? So that just makes sense, okay?
It's working.
And so LOL for all of you guys that were saying I'm stupid. I love being called stupid. Every time you call me stupid, it's another little clue that I should follow that. Because you guys are so obvious, okay? It's the overreaction to simple things. And I feel in my gut that it was not some random coincidence that so many of these fellas decided to wear maroon on September 10th and attend the Charlie Kirk event. And I feel even more compelled because there was this person on TikTok, you may have seen it at the time, who was claiming that he had some videos that someone in his family had shot. And when he submitted them to the FBI had asked him to delete that footage. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's false. But I do know that when I got in touch with this individual and he sent me the footage, my eye immediately gravitated towards another person who happened to be wearing maroon, who is also alone at the event, who I thought was kind of strange, did not duck when everybody else ducked after the shot went off. I think I had shown you that. I'm going to show it to you again. I know I identified him as a young man named Jacob Kasparian, and I'm going to show you that video of him not ducking after the shot goes off. Take a look at this.
Counseling or not promoting gang violence. Great.
And we're going to circle it so you can see it. Okay, that's him. You're going to see everybody duck. And it's going to come back up. And he's still not going to be ducked.
Guy who was genuine.
Just kind of hits his phone and walks away. Now, regarding Jacob Kasparian, I want to be very clear. I do not think he shot Charlie Kirk because it's really fashionable for people to say that we are accusing everyone of shooting Charlie Kirk. No, I am observing some things that strike me as unusual. And it's unusual that he attended the event alone. It is unusual to me that after researching him, he had posted himself earlier that day at either 8:42 a.m. or 7:42 a.m. I'm unclear on whether or not Facebook is editing the time zones according to what I'm in, the time zone I'm in, or when it was shot. But he's wearing an entirely different shirt earlier that day. It's a dyed blue shirt. And then when he arrives to UVU campus, he kind of hits certain points. He's up high, and then he's at the lower rung. 2 minutes before Charlie gets shot, he's not where he is. And then the next thing you know, he's there. And the reason why he's not moving is because he's recording and he doesn't duck. And I just found that to be a bit interesting. I can show you, by the way, this is a very grainy image of him recording. We're kind of circling it there. It's okay if you can't see it. We've hyperimposed, but I just found it odd thereafter that nobody, despite him being there, witnessing it and having recorded, by the way, Charlie getting shot, none of his family members posted anything about Charlie's assassination. He is active. He did not post about Charlie's assassination.
What?
It happened in their backyard.
All done. No more. All gone.
No comment whatsoever that I could find. And I started to wonder, based on where I found these individuals in the audience, I started to suspect, and this is my broader suspicion and theory, which in any investigation
Orly,
you're allowed to do. It might turn out to be
Candace,
wrong,
you're
but
yelling,
I am beginning to suspect that
I was
our
just
Maroon
drying
boys
off
in
the
general
cat.
were
There's
tasked
no
with
food. I'm
taking
using
footage
crochet.
from
All done
predetermined
food.
angles.
Crochet
Again,
time.
it's a suspicion. I'd like to explore it, and the easiest
It's
way
time
for
for
me
Mom to
explore
crochet.
things and rule
See,
things out
there's
is to
no
open things
food.
up to the
It's
public.
crochet.
I would like to see if anybody recognizes and can identify these other Maroon boys, because maybe I can determine what their extracurricular activities are. Are they all in the ROTC? As an example, I'm going off of internet vibes. They could be a part of an airborne force, okay? And it was even more compelling because there was this guy who live streamed the whole event. We all know who I'm speaking about. His name is Adam Bartholomew. I have never, ever said anything about Adam Bartholomew. I have reviewed his footage, but people online were clocking him as suspicious. They're like, this guy just always happened to be in the right place at the right time. And he has been randomly attacking me. Again, I've never said anything about him. And one of the ways that he instantly attacked was when I mentioned the maroon thing. And he said, my son was wearing maroon on that day. And his son was. That's the person that we showed you. That's Adam, and that's his son. Yeah, that only makes it more compelling because you were capturing footage on that day. So I'd like to know more. And I also find it strange, I will say about Adam Bartholomew, that when the shot rings out, he's live streaming, okay? And he does not stop live streaming to run down and ensure that his wife, who was in the audience, okay, was okay. He did the, when I learned by accident that his wife was there, his wife Carrie was there, and she was standing by the bush, actually almost directly near Jordan Kasparian, I would have expected him to be like, oh my gosh, after he says, what is that? Is my wife okay? Oh my God, where is she? Where's Carrie? Nope. She tweeted that photo of herself, and she confirmed in her own X feed that she was, I am more than I ever been, is what her tweet says. When we thought laying in the courtyard that we were about to get shot in the back or in the head, it was very clear that we were on the right side. She confirms by picture and by tweet where she was when that shot went off. And yet
Orly,
he
that's
seriously
enough.
was not panicked to go find his wife. Odd, weird,
Buddy.
and I have a suspicion about the Maroon Boys. I think all of our footage has come from Maroon Boys, and a lot of that footage was then algorithmically boosted. And so I would like to again show you the pictures of these men. And by the way, guys, there's going to be someone that just gets caught in here who just happened to wear a maroon shirt that day. I am sure. If that is you, please
Buddy.
just write to me and let me know. Like, no, Candace, to go to UVU.
That's
And
enough.
this is just a shirt I put on.
No
They do look
food.
military to me, I will say that. And like these three, it's something that I've noticed. And then
Do you need to
obviously
go
Tyler
outside?
Robinson notoriously was wearing a maroon shirt.
Do you want to go outside?
Could be Boy Scouts, could be ROTC.
Do you gotta go potty?
Could be Eagle Scouts, could very much be airborne. So if you guys know anything,
sorry, I
please
gotta
email
get
us. Again, if you recognize these people, I don't want your broader thoughts on the color maroon, but if you recognize these individuals in particular, more tips at CandaceOwens.com. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you somebody that I actually do think is suspicious on that day, and I need to know everything about him. But first, let's get to some sponsors. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, we have to double down on supporting life. Through our partnership with Preborn, we can help save babies and support mothers that are in need. Everyday Preborn's clinics rescue hundreds of babies because when a mother sees her baby on an ultrasound and hears that tiny heartbeat, her chance of choosing life doubles. And now, thanks to a generous match, your gift will be doubled. That means twice as many ultrasounds, twice as many lives saved, and twice as many mothers that are given hope. Diapers, car seats, counseling, and care for up to 2 years. Now, if you've heard about Preborn before and you have not yet taken action, there is no better time than right now. Their work is some of the most important work to help heal our country. One ultrasound costs just $28, but you can give 10 times that amount if you can. Head to preborn.com/Candace to give. Again, that is preborn.com/Candace. Also, remind you guys about Just Thrive. We love them. The biggest health secret that is not talked about is that everything begins in your gut. Every day your gut is fighting a silent war against processed foods, work stress, and toxins in the air that you breathe. When your gut is in trouble, your whole body obviously feels
dehumidifier off for a minute so that the heat can come back here again, and I want to see.
Traditional brands die in your stomach
Oh, you know what?
acid
It
before they
is
even
still
reach your
there.
gut.
Did I even
And that
wipe
is
it
what
down
makes
right there?
Just
I don't think I
Thrive's
wiped it down.
spore-based probiotic completely different.
Everywhere I wiped it
Just Thrive
down,
is the
it
only
looks
probiotic that is
good.
clinically proven to arrive 100% alive.
Everywhere it got wiped down, it looks
something
good.
that no other probiotic.
Earlier, I had to change my tapestry because my roof was leaking.
Questions asked. Take control today with Just Thrive. Visit
She's
justthrivehealth.com and use promo code Candace.
My girl. Yes,
We are not. I wanted to introduce you guys, by the way, to somebody that I do think is extremely shady. Okay, extremely suspicious to me, and I can give you a variety of reasons, but I'd rather just ask for your help in. Let me give you something explicit. I would like to see footage of him, period, point blank, who he was with, in the crowd. I'm starting to identify every person there. That's where I'm at. I'm micromanaging. I'm doing my best carrot over here. I would like to even find him on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination in the crowd. Okay, his name is Emmanuel Beerer, and there are 1,000,001 reasons why I wanted to know more about him. Look, he's a former employee of Oracle. He's in engineering. I believe he's from Germany, from what I looked into. He's a software engineer, and he attended the event, but somehow I don't see any photos of him at the event, and he was plucked from obscurity by the mainstream media as an eyewitness in Salt Lake City. They went to film him in Salt Lake City. I just would like to know how these media requests came about. Did he tweet something and you knew he was there? Actually, if you are PBS, which I'm about to show you a clip of him speaking on PBS, how did you know to reach out to this man? That's the first question I'd like to have answered, right? Because I'm thinking, if I'm sending people down, I'm not sending them to Salt Lake City, right? I'm going to send people a news truck down to UVU campus. I'm going to go around and try to speak to people on campus organically, people that are students and attended this event. Without a connection, which ended up being the Tiffany Barker situation where she said, I was friends with, Jeff Lehman, and that's the reason that I was able to get the news hit in the morning. How did Emmanuel Beerer get picked out in Salt Lake City? Okay. I am going to let you listen to him speak and what he testified to on that day. Take a listen.
I hear this loud sound and I'm like, that wasn't what I thought it was, is it? I was like, no, this can't be happening right now. And we all ducked.
Okay, so yeah, they had him on basically every news channel. I think there is a longer clip, and I might
Isn't it weird how the people they choose to put on the news are always the people that are
UVU
part of their
and you
plan?
went with Emmanuel. Maybe you are Emmanuel.
They have them
and
scheduled ahead of time.
And you would like to clarify who you were with and send some photos and some pictures, and also explain to me how you became an eyewitness that all of the mainstream media wanted to speak to. I would deeply appreciate that because I find that to be suspicious. I just do. Anyways, you guys, in other news, The Game dropped his album, his mixtape, with the song The Assassination of Candace Owens on it, because Game gonna recognize Game. And I'm gonna play for you guys and probably get hit for it. A couple of, we'll play 10 seconds of the song, and then I'll just kind of go over these lyrics from the second verse, which I think are actually really powerful. Take a listen. I will love her like my mama, love her like Kamala, love her like Obama. Truth is, truth hurts. It's like a neck shot. Who really killed Charlie Kirk, okay? That is the truth. The truth does hurt, and people want to know who killed Charlie Kirk. This next line is just absolutely, I think, destructive to Turning Point USA as an organization. He goes on and he writes, his body is not yet settled in the dirt. Why are you carrying on like that? Are you an Andre 3000 verse? Okay, so that's a reference to Outkast, and they are known for making their verses really long. They're very lyrical and poetic, and so that's the vibe coming at Turning Point USA from the hip hop community. How are you guys just going on like an Andre 3000 verse? Who killed Charlie Kirk? That to me is the ultimate referendum on what Turning Point USA is doing. It literally, even a blind man can see what we are all seeing, and yet you're trying to gaslight us into pretending like it's just all regular and that we are the bad guys. He goes on and he says, we live in an era where I can't say the N-word, twerk, and we live in an era where they pull wallets up out their purse. But I was raised in Zion and Nas I am, and if I'm lying low, throw me in a den with the lions and 5 YNs. I think that's a gang. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on gang stuff. Either way, behind these bars is shots flying. Decapitate you so-called goats without trying. Go head to head with CNN while bumping CNN. Leave in France, I'm still alive.
Stay here.
Some I won't
Go
see
lay down,
again.
right here.
Speak my
Money,
truth
lay down
until
right
I'm
here.
in the position that she is in. Moral to the story, be cautious who you believe in. I love this. It's so great. I love that he incorporated France into this. And what he's saying, obviously, is like you have to fight these so-called goats. And honestly, they are like Baphomet worshippers. Okay, the goat thing is, I get what he's doing here. He is being punny in all the right ways. And you somehow, by speaking the truth, you become a threat, and they want to kill you. They want to assassinate you. And they're laughing. They send out these nerds to laugh at you when you say that, and you don't know if you're like, people are like, lay low, like you shouldn't even go to Turning Point USA. What am I doing? I'm just telling the truth. And he's saying all of this to say we're all going, like, we all should be putting ourselves in this position to speak the truth, and the moral of the story is that we should be very cautious in who we believe in. And I think that is how we all are feeling right now. Like, we are suddenly recognizing that this authority is arbitrary, kind of the most grotesque, perverse humans that you could possibly imagine. I don't even think they're humans, to be honest. They're subhuman, happen to be running the world. For whatever reason, our governments think that it is a dramatic ask. Like, we're almost saying it's okay. We'll be employees and debt slaves for the rest of our lives. We'll get back to work and we'll pay absurd taxes every day. Can you guys please just leave kids alone? And our government's like, can't do that. Sorry. Could you please just not poison us? Government's like, sorry, we can't do that.
I got a booger
You guys are
in
asking
my
for way too much.
nose.
You're listening to too much Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. It's too much. You guys,
Hello,
how could you think that
Papa.
we don't have a right to poison you? And to
I
poison
opened the door and
children.
Orly was like
It
drinking
is,
from.
like I said,
There's the
I
creek
think
is flooded.
such
Is running hard right now.
a good commentary.
Like
I'm gonna say enough things
underneath me,
today. I hope I didn't say gun stuff. I'm not in any gangs, but I'm a gangsta. Yeah, I'm a gangsta. I think so. So, anyways, if you guys would like to toss him some support and just to appreciate that we're at a moment where hopefully when he says, like, I was raised listening to Nas, what he means is like real hip hop, right? And people that were actually commenting on the state of things in an intellectual way. It's actually why I loved Jay-Z's music when I was growing up, and I kind of hated what he became. I think it is also reflective for Black America, because so much we have been kind of transformed into the ultimate slaves of Baphomet. Like, this idea of freedom, where I think we're all realizing right now we're not free. Like, we are all slaves, and they give us products and iPhones and flat screen TVs and Hollywood.
And the only way to rebel
and
from
the
that is just to step out of it.
And we're supposed to think
Go live in the
that
woods.
that's glamour and it's glitz, and that means that we're in a golden era. Nope. I think that
Didn't
there was
anybody
not an
watch
enlightenment,
Demolition Man?
but there was a
Like,
darkening of mankind, and America is going to have to wake up real quick. So thank you for putting Charlie Kirk, memorializing him in that song to the game. Hopefully, next time you do it, I can be on the verse. Just like maybe just one little expression from this podcast. Everything is fake and gay. All right, we'll take a brief break, and we will come back after the comments. All right, you guys, what if you could delay now? Thank you, Skylar. That's a good idea. It'd be weird if they bought books and we owensandwidge.com, owens.com. Oh, I said Candace. We're not shipping to Candace. We're shipping to Canada. Thank you, Skylar. That's a good idea. It'd be weird if they bought books and we shipped them to me. That feels like a scam. We also have new merch available on the website if you'd like to buy our Hate It or Love It, the underdogs on top. I love that. I'm actually going to get the game to sign it for me, obviously. I just thought that was great. Now that I'm a rapper. Yeah, I think I'm a rapper. I'm definitely a gangster. Anyways, you guys, also on the website, you can now gift someone a membership to Club Candace or to the book club on our website. Just head to the About section. You'll scroll down and you will see the Want to Gift a Membership tab. Enjoy. I think that's great. I think that's very fun, especially for the book club. We really get into it. We get into a lot of trouble, but it's fun and it's way more laid back because I'm not worried about getting struck on YouTube. All right, let's get into some of your comments for today. Laughing Cats writes, that's, by the way, a very big donation. Thank you. Holla at our girl Candace, supporting her, y'all. I think we need to remind the world that a news station at the CK Memorial talked to attendees for 3 hours, and none of them believed the FBI narrative. TPUSA can blame you all they want, but you are not changing minds. You are speaking to ours. That is so well said. Thank you for writing that, because I feel like I'm becoming a punching bag. All I'm doing is I'm voicing how everyone feels. Like I said, did I collaborate with the game to do the song? Everyone knows that what is being told to us is completely ridiculous. Let me also tell you guys something else that I forgot to mention. So remember, there's only 2 videos of the shooter on the roof. One which was shot from the side, where you see somebody crouched down holding a gun.
Why don't you come right here?
A follow-up call with the person who shot that video. And I asked him, I was like, can you confirm that you actually saw him take the shot? Because
that's not, you can't,
recording him at 12:25,
you can't fit in that, sweetheart.
Said,
You're
no,
too big for that.
Take the shot.
That's a
I
basket,
never
Mama.
saw any recoil. This guy has experience in guns. He teaches people to shoot
You're
guns.
Not gonna fit
and he
in
said,
that
and I did not say
basket.
that was, remember,
Money, oh my God.
That's not the person that I saw. I saw somebody in tactical gear.
Come here. Look,
and
come on.
I have seen so
Come on,
much
get in it if you want to try. Money, right here.
I've seen so much, so many people.
Right here.
Debating whether or not he put the gun.
You want to try again? I'll hold it for you.
I can say that none of that happened. So I asked him, did Tyler Robinson's defense lawyer reach out to you? No. Have the feds reached out to you since I called you?
No, you don't want to try again. Okay.
There's only 2 people.
Why don't you come here? Right here.
That have cameras of this person on the roof, and you are telling me that he hasn't been like automatically subpoenaed into the court case? Again, every layer of this is BS. And we know it, and you can't just, spit in our faces and tell us that it's raining. And that's what it feels like they're trying to do. Curbster writes, so the best spokesman at TPUSA, the best spokesman, that TPUSA has to present a BS invitation to CO is a guy who was fired by Tucker Carlson for racist remarks. No wonder TPUSA is failing. No one is buying it. None of them deserved to breathe the same air as Charlie, much less call him their friend. I actually, a few have commented about, I actually didn't know that Blake Neff used to work for Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was on Fox News. I'm going to ask Tucker Carlson about Blake Neff, because I'm not feeling his vibes. Remember how I said before, I believed him. Now I'm just like, no, now he's just doing too much. Nope, he's lying. He's a liar that lies, okay? After extending an invitation and saying, we sincerely invite Candace to join us on the live stream. He then tweets, I don't know if we have the tweets, where he just like says, no, it was never meant to be. Like, we know that that's not an invitation. Do you have that tweet? I don't know if I send that to you, Skylar. We can pull it up later. But now they're pretending like they were never sincere. Oh yeah, here it is. Of course it's not how you book a guest. We are not booking a guest and never said that we were. We are delivering a response to several months of escalating harassment and lies. She was given the opportunity to join and declined. That's just a lie. Like, how can we accept that anything you guys say in this live stream is going to be true when you are lying to us right now? I never declined an offer to join your live stream, okay? You never insinuated that it had to be in person, and you made it seem like it was a live stream.
Thank you.
Which meant that as long as we could get there,
oh, thank
we could live stream
you.
Literally any place, anytime. That's what tech allows for. And now
I feel like a clapping seal
like
sometimes.
The terms were very clear, and that was going to be 24 hours, and I had to it's like everyone can see through it.
Let's put this right here.
So we are now adding
back and forth
to the pile of TPUSA.
There she goes. Good
BS
girl.
officers.
She's laying down.
I'm gonna figure out what happened with Tucker. Tucker will tell me the truth. You watch out. Tucker will tell me the truth. text my friend Tucker,
She
my
got
only
her
friend
spot
Tucker.
right there.
According to Adam Sosnick, Tucker's my only friend.
Look,
Corey
she
Henry
understood the
writes, Candace,
assignment.
you don't think that they would hesitate to take a whole plane down to get to you? They would, and they don't care. I love you and I'm praying for you. Christ is king. Look, I do think it would be one of the dumbest moves ever if they coordinated
It's
my
crazy
assassination
how
and
much
put you as
her
headquarters.
and
I
her
mean, that would
daughter
just
look
be-
alike. The only difference,
Yeah,
like when you look right at them,
would like
is
to
that
think
she
that's more than
has
that, but,
white
it is
on her
being worn by Kash
face,
Patel, he
and
thinks
her
his
coloring
girlfriend's
is
music
just,
sensational,
it's like
so
as
maybe
if
you're
you
right.
took like
Maybe
the
you're right.
brightness and you
Top
increased
class
it
writes,
on her a
make
little bit.
things right with black people so that we can
She's not
throw
as
our
dark.
support behind you. Quote, no permanent allies or enemies, only permanent
She's
interests.
darker.
Cut the check. I don't know what cut the check means, but I don't know how to make things right with black people. I don't know what that means because I feel like I've always been right with black people because I'm black. So I feel like I've always been cool with everything I said. I just tell the truth. I don't really care how people feel. And so I feel like during BLM, black people were really mad at me because I was telling the truth, but then the truth ended up being the truth. And BLM was a scam and they were buying themselves houses. So maybe black people should make up with me. That's what I want. I want people who supported BLM to make up with me. And I will accept your apology. Tim Morgan writes, the truth is its own self-evident and unassailable defense. We love you, Candace. Thank you, Tim. Crown Heights Brainiac writes, Candace, please go live when they have their live stream and do a live reaction. Team Petty. I saw that request and we can confirm that we are going to live stream their live stream and live respond to the live stream that is not actually a live stream that's interested in getting to the truth. I also love that they're now trying to cage it. Like they were doing this live stream to respond irrespective of me when their entire introduction to this live stream was him speaking for 10 minutes and assassinating my character. And now it's like, oh, this isn't about Candace. We're going to do this irrespective. And again, I don't love the fact that he heavily implies that Erica sanctioned that. He obviously didn't write it himself. And she's a CEO, and it would follow that a CEO would read that. Why allow for those lies in there and misrepresentations? I don't get that. And I do hope she attends because these will be my questions. Also, Erica, if you're watching, can I submit to you a list of 5 questions? Since it has to be in person and whatever, because of like intuitive stuff or something. If that is a requirement, can I submit like Candace's top 5 questions? Can we do that? Or is that too hard? It has to be in person or something. Again, we're trying to bend over backwards here to make this work somehow. And we are very open to it. And we have never once declined this. We told you the truth, which was that it's virtually impossible. It's actually the opposite. It is very virtually possible for me to appear on December 15th. And I don't see a reason why not to allow that. Dubious Maximus writes, I knew it. They wouldn't do a Zoom live, but in person only. The debate is rigged against you. And if you don't go in person, they will say the matter is closed. They answer all questions and won't accept further inquiries. You are correct, at least, that the new format of TPUSA campus events is that students have to tell them ahead of time what they're going to ask.
This is the exact same thing
a
that
flurry of emails to that effect. And I do sense
the
this
Daily
is gonna be
Wire did to her
day.
when she
I'm gonna
challenged
hope for the
Ben
best,
Shapiro
but it's already feeling
to
pretty freaking gay. It hasn't even
debate.
started. So, Candy Renee writes, go Max. Anna Rosas writes, Barry Weiss is interviewing Eric Kirk on December 13th. All is lining up with this December 15th show. Barry is going to pressure Erica into disavowing your claims. That way you have to stop investigating into CK's assassination. There's always a reason for everything. I saw some news about Barry sitting down with her. I thought that it was actually that she's going somewhere where New York Times is hosting or CBS is hosting. I don't know what it is. I like to wait and still stuff until things actually happen. Don't need to surmise about what the future is going to be, but I'm assuming she's going to be at the December 15th event based on what Blake Neff has said. I'd like to know if I'm right about that. And yeah, I don't run my household. My husband, when I said December 15th, rushed right to him when I saw the text confirmation or the tweet confirmation.
Thank you.
And he's the December 15th. Absolutely does not work.
What are you going to
I
make for
cannot
dinner if
December
you're still
15th
here?
work. So, Allison Berry writes, Iron Lady of America going Max for Charlie. Thank you, Allison. And lastly, Sarah writes, praying for you every day. I am so sad
Thank
to see
you
what
so
has happened to
stinking
TP
much.
USA.
Oh,
It
make
makes
sure
me sick.
to
I loved
give
Charlie
the
and his
live
work.
stream
I
a
felt
thumbs
hope.
up.
I don't
That
think Charlie would
helps
be okay with
too.
this. I also feel sad for Erica, and I
general.
feel sad for his kids.
If you ever don't
I
want to
do
do a
feel
gift or
sad
can't
that
do a
it is
gift or
seemingly
whatever, just liking the
all burning to the
stream,
ground very
hitting the
quickly,
share button and hit
and
copy
that
link,
they do
that
not
helps too.
have enough forthright character to assess what they are doing that is causing this. You know, it's like they think it's like the world against them, and the world could not have been more behind them when Charlie was assassinated. So if you have lost favor with the world, I'm talking about the organization, by the way, not obviously his kids and Erica. Well, I guess Erica is now the CEO, but if the organization has lost favor with the world so quickly, and your excuse is, well, this is Candace's fault, and you send Blake Neff out to lie, it's because you're deluding yourselves. And this organization, in my view, has become completely delusional. So there's that. I'm not going to mince words, least of all because I want an organization that isn't staying true to their own principles of free speech and inquiry to do well. The ghost of Charlie Kirk, that's not an appetizing enough of an offer to make me stand behind an organization that no longer seems to be engaged in telling the truth. So anyways, you guys, we will see you on Monday.
I'm tired and my eyes are burning. I gotta get all those propane tanks out of my car. It's pouring rain and I don't want to deal with it.
We will waive formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty as to all charges.
That's Laura Owens back in front of a judge with a new lawyer and now a new date for her fraud and perjury trial. I'll take a look at what's next in her case. Plus, I'm going to show you a little bit of her TED Talk from back in 2022.
My name is Laura Owens, and as you can tell, I wasn't the hero in this story.
I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. You know, there's a reason that Morgan & Morgan is America's largest personal injury law firm. It's because the firm wins a lot. It has more than 1,000 lawyers who have recovered $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. In the last few months alone, a client in Florida received $12 million when the insurance company offered as a former reality TV show contestant. His name lied about it under oath and tampered with evidence. Now, one of those men is a former reality TV show contestant. His name is Clayton Eckert. He was on The Bachelor. He was over the moon when Owens was indicted in his case earlier this year.
Justice is finally served. I am absolutely amped to share this news with you all that today, as of I think 20 minutes ago, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell has announced the indictment of Laura Michelle Owens on felony charges related to the paternity scheme. 1 count of fraudulent schemes, a class 2 felony, 1 count of forgery, a class 4 felony, 4 counts of perjury, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence, a class 6 felony. This nightmare is over. I am so ready to not have to think about this anymore.
But now Owens is facing even more felony charges involving a second man named Greg Gillespie. Owens has been through a civil trial in which she maintained she had become pregnant with Clayton Eckert's baby, but a judge determined it was a lie. A judge actually referred her case to the county attorney's office for prosecution.
You know what? It's not even 7 o'clock. I have done nothing except get pregnant by the Bachelor. Okay? It's not like I've gone and killed somebody.
talked with the county detectives about that?
That was Laura Owens in January of this year, when police in Scottsdale executed a search warrant at the home where she lives with her parents. Owens is accused of a number of crimes, including fraudulent schemes and artifices, forgery, perjury, and tampering with evidence. The indictment claims that Owens lied under oath in March of 2024 when she said, "That's me showing my pregnant stomach," when referring to a video of her with an apparent pregnant stomach. Owens is also accused of lying at the same time when she said, "That's a video clip of father touching pregnant belly." She's also accused of lying when she claims she did not send an ultrasound to victim Greg Gillespie. Here's a text message that Laura Owens wrote to Gillespie that includes an ultrasound picture. "Looks like you're going to be a dad to 1 or 2 babies. Was sick enough to go to the clinic this afternoon and had to get an ultrasound to make sure I wasn't having an ectopic pregnancy. I wasn't. I found out that I've been pregnant with twins. Looks like one of them passed or isn't doing well, probably because of the medicine I took. I had the option of a surgical abortion and elected not to. If I'm going through this on my own, I will let God decide if he wants both, one or none to be born. And the kids would deserve to know their father's side of the family." Now, that was just part of the text message exchange. Owens is accused of using another woman's ultrasound and passing it off as her own in court. So Owens, as I mentioned earlier, she was back in court this week. Here's what happened.
So in the older case, we're here for a status conference as Mr. Swirsky was appointed to represent Miss Owens. There has been a supervening indictment filed. I provided a copy to Mr. Swirsky. Mr. Swirsky, did you have the opportunity to review that with your client?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you want me to conduct a not guilty arraignment today on her behalf?
Would, Your Honor.
All right. Do you waive a reading of the charges and her rights?
We will waive formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty as to all charges.
All right. We'll enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
So Laura Owens has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges.
I need to set release conditions in that the newer case. Is the defense requesting the same release conditions that are
Yes,
in
Your Honor.
the...
First matter as was OR.
I'll catch you guys
This is
later.
just
I'll be
expanded a
back.
little bit, but nothing changed as far as.
Did they charge
anything
you
before and the change in the release.
5 times
All
as
right.
much?
State have anything to contribute on that issue?
No.
All right, it is OR release.
What?
So in the new matter,
Is there a leak under your
I
house?
will, release her in her own recognizance under the same terms and conditions as the 006831. As far as the new dates in that matter, there's going to be an initial pretrial conference on January 21st at 8:15 for Commissioner Popko. A comprehensive pretrial conference February 25th.
Prove it. You need to be
9 o'clock
taking,
before me.
especially since the last time it
Final
already
trial
happened once
management
before, but
conference,
you should have been,
April
you
16th
should be
at 9 o'clock
documenting your
before
meter.
me, then trial assignment, April 23rd at 9 o'clock before
Yeah,
the
that's a
trial
lot.
assignment judge.
That's how
Judge
much like I would
located
use on the
fifth floor is
farm
courtroom 5B.
in like
Miss
a
Owens, you may
month
make all those court
almost.
appearances.
To
If you were to
maybe
fail to appear,
if I
while
was
at
like
issue for arrest,
watering
you don't show up for
everything.
trial, it could occur in your
Nah,
absence.
even nah.
Stay in touch with your lawyer. Make sure he has a good
I don't
cell
even
phone
think I
number
could
for you
use
at all
21,000
times. New last day
in a month.
in the new matter
And that's
will
with
be
watering like
May
a lot of
31st,
stuff,
2026.
like plants.
Probably July 29th at 9 a.m. and your team's
Yeah, showers like crazy in tubs and stuff. No, there's no way.
Okay, so
All right.
forget April.
I gotta go. My eyes are
The trial
burning
dates
so
will
bad
be
it
July, or the
hurts.
final trial management conference.
I love
July
you so
22nd
much. I'll
at
talk to you
9.
guys later.